the DJI Mavic 3 Classic versus the Mini 3 Pro. This is what today's video is all about, a low light comparison between the two. Let's do this. So hello and welcome once again on the channel here in this very nice weather we're having in the UK. So today's video is all about the DJI Mavic 3 Classic with its Hasselblad Micro Four Thirds sensor and the Mini 3 Pro, the old faithful as I call it. This little fella's got a 1.7 fixed aperture and it's a 1/1.3 sensor. So let's get straight into the video and have a look exactly what the low light conditions are and how these two little fellas cope with it. So on with the video, and first up is the Mavic 3 Classic. It's already, as you can see just here, in night mode, and a little later on I'll show you the difference between the Mavic 3 Classic and the Mini 3 Pro. So moving into a location that I fly at regularly for doing these kind of tests, I thought I'd come out where it's nice and dark. It's actually 11:15 at night time. So flying over a dark field at the side of the motorway, I thought this would be an ideal location rather than flying over the city centre where there's lots of lights. I thought this would bring out the best of both drones. So moving on and panning up to the horizon, you can see the sunset that was, and this is, like I say, in night mode. Switching over now to normal mode, and you can see the difference when we switch over as to how that sunset or that horizon alters. I think it still does a pretty good job, switching from 12,000 ISO down to 6,000 when you're shooting in normal mode. Just panning around now to the actual field itself, and just going to give you an example of exactly how dark it is. Just going to top down the gimbal, and you can see it's absolutely pitch black when there's no light showing. So pretty amazing, these drones at night time. So that's the Mavic 3 in normal mode. It's just picking out a car there driving up the road. So both these tests are done in auto mode. As you can just see just here, this is straight out of the drone. There's no processing whatsoever, and I think that's pretty incredible at an aperture of 2.8. But the proof's in the pudding. A little later on I'm just going to show you the Mini 3 Pro against the Mavic 3 Classic. That's what the test is all about. Switching back into night mode, as you can see straight away, that brightens it right up. It takes out some of the distortion or grain that you can tend to get. So that is one of the benefits of the Classic 3 or any of the Mavic 3 series, and I think that's pretty awesome, to be quite honest with you. So panning round away from the lights, you can see it is still pretty good. A bit of a light flashing there in the distance, obviously a car, but I think that's pretty awesome. I really do. Right, moving on, let's bring the Mini 3 into action, and we'll see exactly what the differences are. So on we go with the Mini 3, and this drone never ceases to amaze me, I must admit. Low light test, a 1.7 aperture, same test as the Mavic 3 Classic. I did a similar test to this about a year ago with the Mini 3 Pro against the Air 2S, and the results was quite remarkable. As I said earlier in the video, these tests was both shot exactly the same, 4K 30 in auto, and the videos you can see, they are straight out the drone and there's no processing. So there we go, the Mini 3 Pro against the low light conditions. Now I think this is absolutely incredible for a drone of that size, and the 1.7 aperture obviously lets more light in than normal, and with a 1/1.3 sensor against the Mavic Classic Hasselblad Micro 4/3 sensor, I think this does a pretty good job, to be quite honest with you. That footage is just incredible from a drone of this caliber. As we pan round, you can see the skyline and you can see the lights in the distance from neighbouring villages, and you can see quite clearly this is just incredible. As I fly a little towards the motorway and the light conditions change slightly, obviously because the sensor's picking up a little bit more light, you'll see how clear this footage actually is. And to be quite honest with you, there's not really much grain in this footage, only around the edges where you would expect it to be, but I think that's pretty superb. If we pan around to the skyline, you can see that sunset in the distance that was, as I showed you with the Classic 3, and popping it down into top down, you can see how dark it really is in this area. That's quite a nice shot actually of that sky. Bearing in mind this is 11 o'clock at night, it's only 10 minutes difference between the two. So let's moving on and let's put them side by side, and you can make your own decisions as to what you think is the best. So there we go, just a short video this week, just showing the difference between the Mavic 3 Classic and the undoubted Mini 3 Pro on the low light conditions. I think they both did an absolutely fantastic job, and I think the Mavic 3 Classic just edged it because of the night mode with the ISO bump of 12,000. But what are your thoughts? What do you think to the test? Did you think it was much difference? Have you got any experiences of it? Have you took your drones out in low light conditions? Maybe you can leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. If you found the video useful and you've got something out of it, then don't forget, give us the old thumbs up. And if you know around here, why don't you consider subscribing, dinging the dong and all the rest of it that goes with it. I've got a ton of content on drones from past and present. So thanks for watching. We will see you in the next video.